coffee at? Alright, if you're keeping score at home, you may have noticed that I only uploaded 2 videos next week. It wasn't for lack of trying that I didn't get these videos up, but no excuses. These videos were the demo and the vlog for the song Heroes, which ends up being a pretty important song to me. So rather than slop something together that doesn't quite do it justice, I am updating the deadline for that guy. I will have the vlog and the demo for Heroes uploaded by March 14th, which is the same day that I'm supposed to have the album for all of this stuff finished as well. So anyway, moving right along. I had a dream, I sold sunglasses. No, I really did used to sell sunglasses at various kiosks all over the state of Colorado. The most interesting location by far was the kiosk at Denver International Airport. All of the conspiracy theories about DIA aside, airports are emotionally charged. They're full of reunions and separations. On top of that, there's the stress of trying to make your flight on time. There's the huge elephant in the room of terrorism that's always there, but nobody ever talks about. And airports are also very temporary places. They're designed to be tolerable for 2 to 3 hours. Hopefully the most time that you ever need to spend in one airport at one point in time. So when you live there or work there for 20 to 30 to 40 hours a week, it starts to feel like what I imagine purgatory feels like. Another weird feature of DIA is that there are always birds inside the concourses. This is an oddity that mostly kids notice. Parents are too busy trying to catch their flights to care. When you grow up in Colorado, you see these birds every time you go to the airport, so it mostly loses its luster. When you start to work at the airport, your primary concern becomes, do those birds drink out of the water fountains? Spoiler alert, they do. I've seen it happen. They do drink out of the water fountains. Adding to the surrealness of my shifts at the airport was the fact that the morning shifts started at 6:30 a.m., which usually meant being up by 4:30 because you gotta get showered and dressed and properly caffeinated. Then you gotta drive to the employee parking lot, take it to the shuttle so that you can go through security, have your location open by 6:30. All of the kiosk companies in the airport were supposed to abide by this no cell phones at the kiosk rule, but in actuality it was very sparsely enforced. I, however, never was on my cell phone when I was at work because it was a commission-based job and you miss out on some of the best people watching imaginable. In addition to the emotional instability that I mentioned earlier, airports also frequently play host to celebrities, and every now and again you see something really memorable at the airport. Like one time I heard a woman start a phone call with the words, "Hey, I really need to tell you something." And we all know that conversation, so it was one of these car accident moments. Didn't want to watch, but couldn't look away as her voice got all crackly and she started to tell the person on the other end of the phone the details of her trip. One morning, I had just opened up my kiosk and I was busy cleaning the glasses like a good employee, and I overheard the conversation of 2 men walking by the kiosk. One man gestured at this crowd of birds that was chirping wildly at this woman because she had made the mistake of feeding one of them some crumbs. And this guy said to his buddy, "You know, so-and-so that I know works at this airport." And he told me that the birds fly in through the loading doors when it's cold outside, and then they get trapped and they die here inside of the airport. And I just froze. It all hit me at once. I looked around at the other kiosks, but sure enough, all of the other employees were on their phones. So I knew that the terrible irony of a bird dying inside of an airport was all mine. I wrote the chorus of that song, I believe, that same night. All that I did was describe some birds that I saw in the airport. I wrote the verse inside the next few days, and I shit you not, I woke up at 3:30 one morning before my airport shift, and the second verse of the song just really spilled out of me. I wanted the song to gradually build and gradually overwhelm in just the same way that life changes slowly pile up, and then one day you look around and you don't even recognize anything. I've always believed that you don't really make life choices all at once, but rather you make them every single day in the way that you act. You don't just decide that you're going to be in your job for the rest of your life, or you're not going to be in your job for the rest of your life. You decide every morning that you're either taking steps towards continuing being in this place or towards being in someplace else. And I kind of wanted this song to mimic that. Hey, this week Fevlalbumocalypse goes on the road. We're going to Vegas and then California. I actually leave bright in the morning. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Share it with your friends. I'm sure that they want to know all about stuff.